What's cracking, everybody? This is Soul Town Productions bringing you some more content from the heart of Orange County, from one lost soul to another. Greetings. Today, I got a very special video, man. We're going to be talking about the 18th Street Gang that was formed in LA County. This gang is very dangerous, very notorious. You must tread lightly when you walk through the neighborhood, not only because you got to be careful from them that they don't harm you, or you don't want to get caught slipping by one of their enemies misplacing you as one of them, right? So this neighborhood is a very notorious neighborhood. It's very old, right? I found a very interesting article that I wanted to share with you guys regarding this gang, right? And it's called Feds Aim to Dismantle LA's 18th Street Gang. Authorities say Francisco Puppet Martinez controlled much of the gang violence and drug trade in the neighborhood around LA's MacArthur Park. From a federal prison cell in the late 1990s, Martinez ran the Columbia Little Cycles clique of the 18th Street Gang. From prison, he directed his loyal soldiers and his wife to carry out his orders. Martinez was eventually convicted of the first racketeering charges against gang members in Los Angeles, as well as several other charges. He is now serving 3 life sentences. Working with LA police, the FBI obtained court-ordered taps on the phone of Martinez's wife, Jani Garcia. The tap provided authorities with enough evidence to get a search warrant for Garcia's apartment. Bruce Riordan, who handled the case as a federal prosecutor, says Martinez had a nest egg of nearly $450,000 in drug and extortion profits that was hidden in the apartment. Coincidentally, Martinez phoned Garcia's house and spoke with her sister, Olga Hamilton. As the FBI was conducting the search, the FBI also recorded that conversation. Riordan said Martinez went looking for a rat or a gang member who gave information to the police. According to Riordan and the federal wiretaps, Martinez fingered Juan Termite Romero, aka Feo, as the rat and mailed gang members a hit letter. In October 1999, the letter, written in Spanish, was intercepted by federal authorities. NPR obtained this copy. Translations are provided below. I received your letter and I was very pleased to know that I have a good and loyal nephew who recognized what's good and what's bad, especially when a stupid rat and traitor thinks he's gonna do whatever he wants. He did the opposite for his convenience and to take advantage of my love and everything we've been through to keep that car running, so I'm not gonna forgive that damn rat. And he has to be fumigated so he won't do more harm or hurt us with his yap. Don't chicken out, men and loyal soldiers. Soldiers aren't made or borrowed, we're born that way, true from birth, and it's something that Feo doesn't have. And if he betrays me, just imagine what he's gonna do to you guys if you let him. Be careful and remember that you have me and my good brothers as good soldiers from neighborhood, and that Feo is completely alone. At the end of the letter, Martinez writes, "We do everything with unity, but those like Feo can just go to the cemetery. With much affection, your uncle." At the end, on November 1, 1999, Romero and his driver were shot multiple times. They survived and Romero went on to cooperate with the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office. 6 days after Romero was shot, Garcia spoke with Martinez by phone and told him the house had to be fumigated again. That conversation also was recorded. Local police and the FBI have teamed up to take down some key players in the violent gang world in Los Angeles. The final story of NPR's 4-part series on gangs looks at how law enforcement has targeted the 18th Street Gang, a Latino street gang that is considered the largest in Los Angeles. The FBI has been trying to take down the 18th Street Gang for more than a decade, but generations of gang leaders have made it difficult. The gang has as many as 30,000 members spread across Los Angeles and even as far away as Central America. It is made up of a collection of smaller groups or cliques. One of those cliques is the notorious Columbia Little Cycles. LAPD gang detective Magdalena Gomez says the Columbia Little Cycles has ruled the streets of Los Angeles MacArthur Park neighborhood since the 1960s. They're known for murders, robberies, and kidnappings. They make a lot of money selling dope. Gomez says the 18th Street cliques offer protection from rival gangs in exchange for kickbacks from illegal street sales on narcotics, fake green cards, passports, or driver's license. Gomez says the Colombia Los Psychos also tax illegal vendors. The gang takes a cut from people who sell food, anything counterfeit, or anything illegal that goes on in the street. Gomez's partner Edgar Hernandez says dealers and vendors understand the consequence of refusing to pay those taxes to the clique. Individuals that didn't want to pay for selling illegally on the streets have got shot, stabbed, and even murdered. Last September, one DVD vendor stood up to the gang. He was shot, as was a 23-year-old baby in a stroller nearby. 23-day-old baby in a stroller nearby. 6 Colombia Little Psycho members will stand trial in connection with the baby's death. A month later, the FBI arrested the leader of that clique, the so-called shot caller, along with his wife and 17 alleged associates and drug dealers on federal charges of distributing crack cocaine. His name is Sergio Pantoja, but he's known on the streets as Tricky. Hernandez alleges Pantoja operated a tattoo parlor that was actually a front for an elaborated drug dealing and extortion racket. Pantoja's tattooed back, chest, and arms are filled with Aztec and Mexican symbols. Hernandez says possibly to show alliance to the prison element upstate and in the prisons. A huge Latino prison gang made up of leaders from many street gangs. Pantoja is the latest alleged shot caller in a tangled hierarchy running from the streets to the prisons. At the top of the chain is a man they call Puppet. Francisco Martinez allegedly belongs to the organization. In the late 1990s, he was said to be pulling the strings from federal prison while serving time for immigration violations. In 2002, the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office helped convict Martinez on racketeering, murder, and other charges. He received 3 life sentences and is serving time in the nation's highest security prison. Bruce Riordan, who handled the Martinez case as a federal prosecutor, says federal informants and wiretaps make it possible to lock up top-tier gang leaders in federal prison. The cases are no different in scope and significance from the cases that many people are familiar with that have taken down the 5 families of New York. Experts say that, like the Italian mafia, the so-called Mexican mafia operates and runs the streets from federal prison. They enjoy a huge reverence in the prison system. They're like little gods, says retired LF Sheriff's Deputy Richard Valdemar. Valdemar was on the FBI task force to take down the 18th Street Gang in the 1990s. He argues that locking up gang leaders has only strengthened the organization, whose members find ways to send out orders to the streets, gangs from behind bars. The system itself tries to isolate them and take away their privileges, but the underground cover system makes them powerful. Some of these guys are brilliant too. We can't think of gang members as being dumb kids who failed in school and just took up the thug life. No. These guys that reached the top of the prison gang food chain, these guys are brilliant and they could run corporate organizations if they had a mind to do that. Gang researcher Alex Alonso, who runs the website streetgangs.com, says that with each takedown by law enforcement, new and sometimes more violent shot callers rise up to the ranks. Within a short time, there's going to be new guys from 18th Street to replace the old guys that were removed. Sometimes within minutes or hours, Alonso says. Even so, federal and local authorities believe they put a dent in the 18th Street Gang criminal enterprise, at least for now. They're on the lookout for who might be the next shot caller. And there will be another one, says ex-gang member Alex Sanchez. Those are local heroes, says Sanchez, shaking his head. It's sad to say that those are our role models. How many children are looking out for those role models in those neighborhoods and they want to be like them? The lure of gang culture, he says, may be stronger than any federal local anti-collaboration. So that article is a very interesting article, right? It talks about some of the elements that this gang is involved with, the dangerous side of this gang, right? But let me talk to these youngsters for a minute, right? Think about this, right? If you're from El Salvador, or you're from Guatemala, Honduras, or you're from a different country, you're an immigrant, you know? I'm an immigrant, right? So if you're an immigrant, you gotta remember, man, if you're from 18th Street, or you're from Mara Salvatrucha, or you're from a gang that has to do with an immigrant clique as well, they're gonna connect you with that. They're gonna say, you know what, this guy's from 18th Street in LA, he's from Guatemala, or he's from Salvador, or even if you're Mexican, you know what, deport him. They're gonna deport you. What's gonna happen when you end up in El Salvador or in Guatemala? They're gonna send you to that mega prison that Bukele is building. He's not caring about people. He's locking up anybody that has tattoos that have to do with 18 or MS-13. You guys got to keep in mind that this gang alliance that you're choosing to be a part of goes deeper down the border. And you know what I mean? Like, you could get caught up in that mess and you'd be sent to that mega prison, man. They don't play out there. You could see videos on YouTube about these guys in that mega prison, man, and they be treating them like trash, man. They don't even give them food. The president said himself that he don't care about none of that. He don't care about human what's that called? Human whatever, right? The human rights or whatever. So if you get caught up in that mess, man, they're gonna send you to that prison. You're gonna be stuck. So for you youngsters out there wanting to bang, right, wanting to be this tough guy, this gang member, right, just remember that at the end of the road, there's nothing waiting for you but death, the prison system, heartache, pain for your family. You know, it's nothing but heartaches, man. And at the end of the day, everybody regrets being part of a gang. Everybody does. So 18th Street, also known as Calle 18, Barrio 18, Mara 18, or simply La 18, is a multi-ethnic, transnational criminal organization that started as a street gang in Los Angeles. It is one of the largest transnational criminal gangs in Los Angeles, with 65,000 members between the United States, Mexico, and Central America, and is also allied with the organization in the prisons. A United States Department of Justice report featured the following statement regarding 18th Street and rival gangs MS-13. These two gangs have turned the Central American Northern Triangle into the area with the highest homicide rate in the world. 18th Street gang started near 18th Street and Union Avenue in the Rampart district of Los Angeles. There is conflicting information as to the exact area, but this is a generally accepted area by most academic resources. They were originally part of the Clanton 14, but wanted to make a separate clique called Clanton 18th Street and allow immigrants the opportunity to join. This proposal was rejected by the Clanton 14, which led to the formation of the 18th Street gang. The two gangs have been bitter rivals ever since. The 18th Street gang grew by expanding its membership to the nationalities and races, and it was among the first multiracial, multi-ethnic gangs in Los Angeles. In the beginning, they were made up of largely of second-generation Hispanics. As the 18th Street gang began to battle with more established Hispanic gangs, they began to recruit outside the Hispanic community. There are approximately 200 separate individual autonomous gangs operating under the same name within separate barrios in the San Fernando Valley, specifically in North Hollywood, the San Gabriel Valley, South Bay, Riverside, East Los, South Los, Hollywood, Downtown, Los Angeles, Northeast Los Angeles, Pico Union, Westlake, Koreatown, Inglewood, Southgate, Huntington Park, Maywood, Bellflower, Long Beach, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Tucson, Arizona, and Los Angeles, West Side or West LA, according to the latest figures from the NDIC. In the early 2000s, the Federal Bureau of Investigation initiated wide-scale raids against known and suspected gang members, netting hundreds of arrests across the country. 18th Street started as a Mexican-American gang, but the gang also became Central American, as it started to recruit more members of the other ethnic groups. When Central American gang members were arrested in the United States, they were then deported back to Central America, where the gang rose out of control on different levels of violence, not just in El Salvador, but in Honduras and Guatemala as well. Becoming one of the most violent gangs in Central America, 18th Street later became a bitter rival of MS-13, as both gangs wanted the top spot in Central America. Members of 18th Street are mainly Mexican, Salvadorian, Honduran, and Guatemalan, but the gang does have members from other parts of Central America. 18th Street influences have recently been spotted in Belize as well. In El Salvador, a faction called the Revolucionarios split off 18th Street in 2005, becoming rivals with the other members who came to be known as Los Sureños. So as you can see, this neighborhood is nothing to play with. They're very serious, very deadly. Man, in El Salvador, look at what's been going on, man. What I was saying about the mega prison, man. They made it really dangerous out there. People were dropping left and right. People were getting robbed. We gotta remember we're at war with something bigger than ourselves. We like to fight between each other. There's nothing different between us. I'm Mexicano, but I got love for my Guatemalans, my Salvadorians, you know. I got love for the people in Central America and South America, right? Why? Because before these borders were created, we were just a bunch of tribes migrating up and down North America and South America. We're all indigenous people. But we've been divided by borders and governments. We've been divided. We've been conquered, divided, and we lost our ways as a people, as an indigenous people. The reason why we fight amongst ourselves is because it's been happening for generations. Back in the indigenous days, right? Tribes were warring with each other. You know, we don't have to get along, right? But I think in a time like today, we have to get along. We have to form together. Why? Because now our children are being attacked by forces that we can't even look. We can't even see these motherfuckers. They're trying to reach our kids with this homosexual agenda, with this woke society bullshit, man. Our kids are being manipulated, and we're out here fighting over a street corner or some numbers. You know, I think it's time for us to wake up as a people. You know, the Incas, the Mayas, the Olmecs, the Chichimecas, the Mexicas, los Aztecas, los Apaches, los Purépechas. We're all a part of that. We're all part of the same indigenous tribe. We just been conquered. We've been conquered by a white society. You know, and I think we need to start waking up from that. So the article continues. We recognize them as one of the most violent street gangs and one of the most prolific in the United States, says Special Agent George Rodriguez, who until his retirement oversaw investigations for the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Cars are stolen and homes are burglared by the gang routinely. On average, someone in Los Angeles County is assaulted or robbed by 18 streeters every day. The gang has left a bloody trail at a pace 3 times that of many of the city's most active gangs. 18th Street is a well-established gang that is involved in all areas of street crime. Several of 18th Street gang members have reached a higher level of sophistication and organization in their illicit activities than other gangs. While their main source of income is street-level distribution of drugs, they have also been linked to murders, assaults, arson, copyright infringements, extortion, human trafficking, illegal immigration, kidnapping, prostitution, robbery, and weapons trafficking, as well as other crimes. 18th Street gang members has also been implicated in the high-profile kidnapping and murder of the 16-year-old brother of internationally renowned Honduran football player Wilson Palacios. In 1998, Catarino Gonzalez was sentenced to life in prison after a jury convicted Gonzalez of first-degree murder for fatally shooting Officer Philbert Cuesta in the back of the head while the officer was sitting in a patrol car. Kingston, New York police arrested and jailed several young men on the charge that they abducted a victim, took him to a nearby woods, and murdered him. They were held on federal murder and racketeering charges. In 2019, an 18th Street gangster was fatally shot by a member of a rival gang at MS-13 in a Queens subway station. You know, these guys don't play. In Guatemala City, many bus drivers have been killed by the 18th Street gang members that drove through the alleged territory of the gang. Bus drivers were often victims of robberies and extortion. In one particular case, the bus owners refused to pay the gang. A few moments later, a young man, the son of one of the Libertad's bus owners, was driving his bus along Route 4, which ran from the terminal down to the Universidad de San Carlos de Guatemala in the southern part of the city. As he passed through Zone 6, 2 men flagged down the bus. They boarded it without paying and shot the driver in the head, killing him instantly. You know, it's a dangerous world, man. We need to stay awake. We need to be vigilant. You know, man, I've seen videos of bus drivers getting assaulted, and man, it ain't nothing cool, man. I seen a video where a bus driver was assaulted by a woman. You know what I mean? By a woman, man. She started assaulting him, and the bus driver drove off a cliff, killing everybody in the bus, all because that lady was tripping. You guys need to be safe out there, man. And with that being said, I'm gonna end that video with this, right? Let's stay away from the bullshit. Let's recognize that what we're doing in life is only hurting our people. It's only hurting our family. And you're only cursing your future generations, man. Karma is real. It might not come back to bite you in the ass, but it might come back to bite your son, man. Or it might come back to bite your daughter, or your wife, or your mom, or your pops, man. It doesn't always come back to you. And I think we need to understand that fact, right? It doesn't always come back to us. It comes back to the people we love. You know, it comes back to the people that might not be able to defend themselves. You know, it's a fucked up world, man. So with that being said, we're gonna end this video with that. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. I'm working on a few projects. I know I haven't been uploading. Just know that I'm working on a documentary, a Santa Ana, Orange County documentary. I'm working on a documentary. I haven't had much time to drop some videos. I'm gonna start dropping some videos now. I've been working to get my equipment. Now I have a few. I have a expensive computer, and I got some good microphones. We're gonna start doing big stuff, right? We're gonna start interviewing people. We're gonna start making documentaries, making short films. So this podcast is simply only as a hobby, right? But there's big things coming down, man. I'm gonna be making big projects to help out the youth in Orange County. I'm gonna be making moves out here. You're gonna be seeing me around in the neighborhoods. I'm gonna let it be known, man, that we out here. We're trying to help the youth. I got love for my people, you know. Much love to everybody in Santa Ana. Stay safe out there, man. There's been a lot of shootings, but you know what? We need to maintain and stay safe, my people.